I'm your host, Sarah Baus, and welcome to Attainable Podcast. Hi guys, welcome back to the Attainable Podcast. I hope you're doing well. If you're new here, my name is Sarah Baus. I am your host, and I am so glad you're here. And you know what else I'm glad about? I'm so happy for this warm weather. I hope that is warm weather near you guys, because this 80 degrees is just the best. I'm living my best life. I love it so much. But how are you guys doing? I would love to have this be like a very engaging kind of two-way conversation as much as we can make it. So send us a DM or comment on our last post. How is your life going? What are you doing? We're curious, we're nosy, and by we, I mean me, because I'm the one who runs this show. And so I just want to know what's going on with your life. If you ever have questions, need advice, want to rant, anything, the DMs are open. And as well, if you ever have any episode requests, we would love to hear. Actually, I'm going to make this like a campaign. We're going to have a campaign right now with episode requests because we love to make this content, but we want to make sure that it's content that you want to hear. So do me a favor and go over to our Instagram, go to our DMs, and just type out a little list. You don't even have to say hi. Like, I'll know what you're saying. Just type out a little list of things that you want. It can be, like more casual, like Q&As, story episodes, like advice things, like whatever. Or it could be like more topic, how to do something, career related, finance related, life related, relationships, whatever, whatever's going on in your brain, we want to hear it. So head to the DMs and let me know what your requests are. So there's our little campaign. Let it go, let it run. And I can't wait to hear all of your ideas. Today we're talking with Miranda Maheri, who is a 24-year-old YouTuber. She was in nursing school, quit, and started pursuing her YouTube channel. And she has such a beautiful story and such a wonderful outlook on life from the lessons that she's learned from quitting her, like science and very straight and narrow path and going on a path that is very unknown. And she's been doing super well. So you'll love her. You love this interview. I just got off of it. I record the intros after, and guys, I'm telling you, this was such a good one. So I know you're going to enjoy it. And without further ado, here's Miranda. Miranda, I'm so excited that you're finally on the podcast. We've been trying to get this together for like a couple months now, and now we're here, and you look fabulous. And
thank you. I'm so excited.
I was just telling her, if you're watching on Spotify, don't forget any of our Spotify users that you can actually watch the podcast on Spotify. It's very cool. If you're watching, you will see her hair looks so cute, and I'm wearing a t-shirt. And so this is where we are right now. If you're listening, now you have a nice visual image.
It's totally okay. I changed specifically for the podcast, so I don't always look like this.
I so appreciate that. You look great. Can you give a little overview about who you are, what you do, what you're about?
Yeah. So my name is Miranda. Obviously, I am 24. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I am a YouTuber / content creator. Mostly YouTube right now. We're on a little bit of a social media hiatus at the moment.
We all need it. Yes. At some point.
Much needed.
Instagram.
But yeah, mostly vlogging, lifestyle type of content. I'm getting super into like the fashion space, which is really exciting. I have so many ideas, but yeah, that's me.
That's awesome. How long have you been doing YouTube full time?
So I started my YouTube in 2019, and I quit my job and started YouTube full time almost exactly a year ago. Last March, I think, is when I quit my job.
I feel like March hits a little different now.
It does. It really does.
March just hits different. It's so weird. Like every March, it's the anniversary of me quitting my job and then going full time with my business. And yeah, it just feels like March is, everybody's got something in March. And now that we're in March right now and spring's happening, there's like a new awakening. And I'm like, okay, I can feel it in the air, whatever this is.
It's like we're a couple months past the New Year's and the weather starts to get warmer. So people are like, okay, let's really make some changes. Like, let's make this year the one,
This year the one. Yeah. Yeah, I headed into March like with a running start and it kicked me on my ass. So we for sure, I'm feeling a lot of 2020 vibes, like feeling really good. And then something just hits you square in the face. That's kind of where we're at.
I've been feeling the same way.
Yeah. So you started YouTube, but what did you do before YouTube?
So I was actually in nursing school at the University of Missouri, and right around the time that I started YouTube, I had a big epiphany that nursing was just not the path that I wanted to go on. Like, it's something that my whole family, I have so many people that were nurses in my family in the medical field that kind of nudged me that way. I was like, oh, you'll never look for a job. You'll always have money. It's so stable. You can help people. And I was like, yeah, sure. That's what I want to do, is I want to be a nurse. And then getting farther and farther into school, I was like, this is not for me. Like, kudos to all the nurses out there, especially since COVID. Like, I just know that I could not do that job. And it was a big epiphany where I was like, I don't want to do this, but I don't know what I want to do at all.
Oh my God. And what a beautiful feeling, right? What a secure feeling to be in.
Oh, it felt great.
Yeah, it felt so good, I'm sure. So you quit nursing and said, okay, I'm going like full send. This is what we're going to do. Did you have any pushback with that? Because that's kind of, I mean, like that's like a big turnaround.
Yes. So at first, I mean, my whole experience with YouTube and like trying to make this my career, I honestly haven't gotten that much pushback from like my family. At first, when I dropped out of school, it was kind of on the idea of like, oh, well, if I figure out what I want to do, then I'll go back. And that's kind of what I told my parents, because I was like, I don't want to spend money in student loans to get a degree in nursing that I don't want, but I also don't want to sit in school when I have no idea what I want to do. So for the first year and a half of me not being in college, I was like, maybe I'll go back eventually. And that's kind of how I kept my parents like off my case. And then I think as they noticed that I got more and more serious with YouTube and everything, and they saw like how much effort and work I was putting into it, they realized like, okay, this is what she wants to do. They just want me to be happy. So thank God, not that much pushback. A little bit, but not a lot. And I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, it's tough because I've been in that position where I like quit the path that everybody told me to go on. And then I started on this new path that I literally had no idea, like I knew nothing about. And you kind of give yourself enough pushback. Like the doubts are in your mind.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if you're like, I don't really need anybody else to tell me what the problems are. Believe
like I doubt
me,
myself enough.
It's my life. I'm for sure I understand all the problems. I'm sure I've thought of all the problems, like more problems than you've even thought of. So really don't need the extra input.
And you were a biology, right?
Chemistry.
I was
a research and development chemist. Yeah, full in the lab.
What a big change.
What a big
total
change,
flip.
Right? It's still weird to me to say like I'm turning 25 this year. And like I've had a career as a research and development chemist, now short-lived, but like I did that. Like I worked in pharmaceuticals. It feels
like a different life, doesn't it?
Feels like a full different life.
Yep.
Different person. So let's talk about that feeling for a little bit, about that insecurity, that self-doubt that goes through your mind inevitably when you kind of go off onto your own path, and whatever that may look like for anybody. I think everybody kind of seems to have some time in their life where they have to course correct, and they had this plan and now they're going a different way. Some are more extreme than others. But yeah, there's this like, I mean, it's a big uneasy feeling. It's going into the unknown. How did you manage that?
Not very well in the beginning, I'll tell you what. I think I already had so much doubt in me when I was still in school because I wasn't into nursing, so I wasn't doing that good in my classes. So the fact that I dropped out and didn't get a degree added like a whole other level of self-doubt, where I was like, if this doesn't work out, if YouTube doesn't work out, I have no plan B. Like there is no plan B. But I think the self-doubt kind of goes away. I always say like, or actually my boyfriend always says, and I stole it from him, that true confidence comes from hard work. And if you're working hard at something and like, you know, that you're putting in all of this effort to achieve these goals that you have, the self-doubt kind of fades. Not completely, it literally never will.
No, not
ever.
for sure.
But it definitely helps. Just working hard at something you truly care about gives you more of a sense of security, I feel like.
Yeah. No,
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah.
And yeah, the different, like, I was confident in college. Anybody who knew me back then can probably attest. I was probably a little cocky, but it was
Does anybody from back then listen to the podcast, I wonder?
Oh my God. Yeah. If any of my, so I went to Columbia College. We were all girls at that time. They have since gone co-ed, but we were called C-sters, like C-sters. So if any of my C-sters are listening,
There
ladies, any of
Shout
you
it out.
graduated with me, go comment on the Instagram post of this, one of the Instagram posts of this episode, so we can know that you're listening. Shout out. But yeah, I mean, college is a different kind of confidence.
Oh yeah, it's a wake-up call.
Oh yeah. And I graduated, and I mean, I had my ass handed to me. It was like, oh, you thought you knew what the world was like. You thought you knew who you were.
Yes.
LOL, my friend. And I totally agree. Going through, like, having to work and push past those like insecurities is what makes you gain confidence. And I have to turn around and like look at, almost like prove to myself that, hey, here's everything that you've done.
Yes.
And reaffirm that confidence. Because it's not like it's something that some of it automatically comes, but a lot of it I have to really work at and say, hey, here's evidence A, B, and C that, you know, I can make it on my own and I can figure things out if things go to shit, because I've gone to shit so many times. You know, when they're going to shit now, like, we're gonna get through it. And that's the confidence we have now. Very different.
Yes. I was a while ago, like a couple months ago, I was listening to The Skinny Confidential. Do you listen to that? I
don't listen, and everybody talks about this podcast, and I know are they like the founders of Dear Media?
So I think, so Lauren Bostic is the person who started The Skinny Confidential, and then her and her husband, Michael Bostic, have The Skinny Confidential podcast. And he, I'm assuming, and her, since they're married, own Dear Media, I think. I don't listen a lot anymore, but a couple of months ago, I was listening to an episode, and I believe what was the one with Greg McCowan. I don't know if that's true.
Oh,
but he talked.
He has a book.
He has a book, yeah. And he talks about the gap or the gain, living in the gap or the gain. And I have to remind myself, it might not be him. I think it's him though. I don't know. But he talks about, do you live in the gap or the gain? Do you live looking at how far you have to go, or do you live looking at how far you've come? And yeah. And he's even like, I mean, I live in the gap, being how far you have to go hundreds of times a day, but it's snapping yourself out of it and saying, no, look at how much I've accomplished, look at how far I've come. And it gives you that sense of like, okay, I feel valid. I know I can do it. But yeah, gap or gain. So I always try and remind myself of that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love that.
I know. And it's real simple, so you can remember it.
Yeah. It's really like quick and simple. I used to hate quotes. That used to be like one of my
so cringy.
My cute, like unique abilities, or not abilities, like qualities. I was like, I'm so different. I hate quotes. Now I'm like, give me a Pinterest quote. I have plans to make a gallery wall, and quotes will be on there. And it's honestly, it's with stuff like that where I'm like, no, you can make fun of me all you want. Like, look at my little gallery wall with my stupid little words. But let me tell you, when you're at a place where all you can do is chant like these mantras to yourself until you believe it, you don't know the power of quotes.
Whatever speaks to you, put that up on your wall. Look at it every single day.
Every single day.
Not every quote will speak to you, but you know, the ones that do.
That they hit.
They're powerful.
Yes. I love that phrase. And it's true. You have to stop, like, learn. And I think this is something I've been going on a rant about public education for the last couple of weeks. It's almost like becoming part of my platform, which I'm absolutely okay with, because with public education and that system, like, they always set these goalposts in front of you, which I think is great. Like, you have to have something to work towards, but they don't really explain what happens when there's no goalpost. And so with college or graduating high school, whatever, like there's a literal date, I make it to that date. This is the curriculum to get me there. And like, that's my prescription. And you just keep running towards this date. So when there isn't a date, all you see is gap. All you see in front of you is just this open abyss.
Because there's no like end to it.
There's no end.
You're like, this is my life.
The end is literal death. You're like, what am I supposed to do now? And what is success?
School, from kindergarten through college is so structured. Like you have to have, especially in college, you have to have a little bit of like self-discipline, but it's still so structured. And I feel like people do so well in school and they get out into the real world and they're like, how do I keep myself accountable? How do I set these goals for myself? And how do I figure out what I have to do to reach them? I feel like that's the hard part. Unless you graduate and you go into a job where you work for your boss and he tells you, or she, what you have to do every day to reach that promotion, which is another end goal, Yeah.
We like search for these success metrics. And
yes, exactly.
And like a traditional job, you kind of get, I'll say the blessing, because it's something I don't have. And now I recognize that as a privilege to have somebody above you giving you these metrics,
guidance.
Guidance and how to be successful. When you're on your own, you don't have, like, you have to give those to yourself and then give yourself promotions. And I'll be honest, my boss, she's a toughie. She's a little critical. Her feedback,
just a little bit.
Her feedback's a little harsh. I don't know what that's about.
It's mostly negative up in this head of mine.
Yeah, it is a little negative, a little bit of a negative environment. I'll put a complaint in with HR later. That's also me. So with YouTube, and of course, like, you have to manage your own schedule, you manage your own thing. How do you stay consistent? That, I mean, especially of all the social platforms, YouTube is, I'd say, the heaviest, like the one you have to lift the heaviest. How do you stay consistent, and how have you over the past couple of years?
So I'd say in the beginning, I definitely wasn't super consistent, but that's for everybody. Like, anybody just starting out is not going to be consistent. And then everybody preaches to you, like, consistency is key. You have to stay consistent. Like, upload once a week's not enough. You should do twice a week. And so for a long time, I was able to keep myself on like a once a week kind of schedule. And that wasn't, I'm not going to say it wasn't difficult, because it definitely was. And I definitely had my breakdowns. And then I moved up to 2 videos a week, and it kind of seemed like everything stopped growing. Like, my views were down, everything was down. And I took a step back. We've been lucky enough, I'm very grateful to have been traveling a lot for the past couple of months. So with all of that going on, I was like, all right, I'm going to take a step back. I'm not going to quit uploading on YouTube, but I'm not going to force myself to have this every week kind of schedule and let myself stress about it, and just learn to enjoy it again. So that's kind of where we are now. I've been editing the travel vlogs and they're so fun, and I haven't had to film. I'm not going to say I had to. I haven't needed to, because I'm lucky to have this as my job. I am very grateful, but I haven't needed to film anything for like a month. And let me tell you, it's been great. But back to what we were talking about. Staying consistent it's really a question of like, how hard or how much do you want it? Like, do you want it enough to put in extra hours, stay up later than you want to, wake up earlier than you want to, say no to like social plans? Like, how bad do you really want it? How bad do you want your goals? And I feel like that's a question that everybody has to ask themselves at some point. It's like, how much work am I willing to put in? Is this really what I want? Because if so, you better start working.
Yeah. So, question from somebody who, as a personality type, like, I'm a big starter and not a big finisher. And with social media, like the consistency thing, I'm all about it. Love it. I know that that's a thing. And I even on TikTok, I did like, I think it was 2 videos every day for a month or something.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. It felt really good. But like, inevitably, like, that always dies down for me. Like, something dies down. And so I know, like, I need to be posting more and whatever. And I'm gotten, okay, I need to kind of focus on what platform. But would you say that it's, one day something clicks where the consistency doesn't seem so hard, or it makes more sense, or something clicks where you don't have that fall off? Or is it, no, you just do it no matter what, even when you feel bad, even when you don't feel like it's great, even when you don't feel like it. Which do you think that there's a one or the other?
I mean, for me personally, I think it definitely gets easier once you get into a routine. I'm very much a routine schedule type of person. So once I got into the routine of like, okay, I film on this day, edit on this day, upload on this day, it was pretty easy to stay consistent with it. I feel like humans thrive with a routine, like just knowing what they have to do. It's like learning how to give yourself the structure that you don't necessarily have working for yourself.
Yeah.
So, but then it's hard when you start to juggle multiple platforms because it becomes a lot. If I like right now, social media hiatus, I've been able to solely focus on YouTube, and it's been great. Like staying consistent is not an issue. Putting out great quality videos is not an issue. But if you add in Instagram and TikTok and you're trying to stay consistent on all of these, that can get very overwhelming very quickly. And I feel like when you get overwhelmed and you don't know how to deal with it is what leads to like burnout. Like you're just like, I can't do this. I gotta stop all of it for a second. Yeah. But yeah, I've experienced that a few times.
Yeah, I think with that, it's honestly something that's helped me balancing not just platforms, but literally everything. I'm having to manage my own business, doing my clients, like manage everything. It's this really cool thing. I'm sure nobody's ever heard of it before. It's called time blocking. Yes. And it's nothing new. But I just did it where I went into my Google Calendar and I took like a blank week, made a new calendar, and I did the blocking. And then in my calendar, like at the start of the week, I'll go through and I'm like, okay, here's where I'm doing client work every day. Here's the client work I'm doing. And I'll put like a little thing in the notes of like my to-do list for that, portion. And in the morning, I've got a time for what's called goal work. So I have like a board with my goals, and like that's the hour that I spend like pursuing them, because otherwise that goes down the toilet while I'm working on my other client things. So yeah, I think you're right. It might just be having that allotted time to say, okay, this is the system and this is how we're going to do that. So from what did you, I'm going to kind of dive back into like you choosing your own path and going your way. What was something that you learned from moving into a whole different direction, kind of like swimming upstream and saying, okay, it doesn't really matter what other people think. I'm going to do what feels right to me.
I think that was literally one of the biggest things, is it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. I think one of the biggest things I had to learn and realize is that everybody fails, even the people that you idolize and that you think have their shit together. Like I always look up to like Alicia Marie on YouTube because she's like an OG, been here forever, makes great videos, obviously does so well for herself. But everybody fails, and everybody has these like, little valleys, peaks and valleys. But that was a hard one where I was like, I don't want to fail. I want to be better than this. I don't want to do this. Like, but it's just a thing that is going to happen with a path that isn't so true. I mean, it'll happen with everybody. It'll happen in everything. And it's something that you have to get really comfortable with. I made notes. Let's see. So I was like, what did I learn? Oh yeah. The confidence comes from hard work. That was a big one. Because I feel like in college, I was super confident. I was like, not even necessarily because my grades were super great, but like I was in college, I was confident in what I was doing. And then I choose this path and I'm like, everyone from my hometown is going to think that I'm stupid and that I'm not doing anything with my life, and my family is going to judge me. And it really is, confidence in what you're doing comes from hard work. It really does. So just putting so much, like as much effort as you can to what you love, and then also learning how to balance everything. Like your career and your income, I say should not be the main focus of life. And that's kind of how I looked at YouTube for the first 2.5 years that I literally just figured this out. Like it just clicked in my head where I was like, YouTube can't be my only focus every single day. Like you have to take care of yourself. I have this new way that I schedule my days where I focus on 5 things: mind, body, soul, income, and goals. So, you have to take care of all of these parts to keep yourself truly happy so that you don't, burn out, I guess.
I like that. Wait, can you talk about that a little bit more that schedule that you've made?
Yeah. Mind, body, soul, income goals. This is a new thing for me. I'm very excited about it.
You need to like really coin that, because I love this.
It like rhymes a little bit.
Yeah.
Not necessarily rhymes, but like it goes.
It goes.
Like 12-3-30. Have you heard of Lauren Geraldo's 12-3-30?
No. What is that?
You haven't? Oh my God.
No.
So Lauren Geraldo is a YouTuber. She started on Vine and she did this workout for a long time. Like she lost a bunch of weight and all she did was walk on a treadmill at like a 12 incline 3 speed for 30 minutes.
On TikTok.
And she coined 12-3-30. And I was like, you are so smart.
I'm like, I really want to get a treadmill, literally just for that. I'm
It's
like,
hard.
I have a
It's so
sidebar,
hard.
but it seems like so nice, like the woman power walk, you know?
Oh yeah.
And I saw on TikTok,
the music.
Yes, I saw a TikTok, and it was like my boyfriend used to make fun of me for not working hard enough and for my little treadmill walks, and now I have a boyfriend who does them with me, and it was like down on the treadmill and they're both sassy walking. And I was like, Joseph, we have to get 2 treadmills. Well, shit, we have to get 2 treadmills, and
Tyler would never
sassy walk
maybe
every day. It's gonna be so great.
No, okay, but mind, body,
Yes.
soul, income goals. So for the past like year or so, I've been on this huge like self-reflection, self-development kind of mindset. And I was realizing that no matter how much effort I was putting into YouTube, Instagram, all of that stuff, I never felt as happy as I felt like I should have. And it's because I was neglecting everything else. Everything else took a backseat to filming, editing, uploading. So I sat down and I was like, okay, what do I have to do to truly take care of myself and make sure that I am happy and fulfilled? And I was like, okay, well, I need to meditate. I want to journal. I want to work out. I want to go on walks. I want to, obviously film, edit, upload. I want to learn more. Like I want to read or listen to more podcasts. I want to do all of these things. But then you look at your schedule, and as I'm looking at my online schedule, it looks like a shit ton of stuff. And then you get in this mindset of, well, this is too much to deal with. You get overwhelmed, and then you don't do like 2 things, and you're like, oh, whatever, I'll do them tomorrow. And they keep getting pushed back and they keep piling up, and it's a shit show. And then that's when you have a mental breakdown if you're anything like me.
Yes.
So I sat down and I was like, all right, we need to simplify this. Like I've got to figure out how to make it flow better. And you always hear about like mind, body, soul, which of course is important, taking care of your mind, your body, and your soul. And then I was like, but you have to add to that. Like you have to add your income, because you have to have resources.
I'm like, yeah, but we have to
you have to pay bills, and you have to have resources to, support yourself while you're doing these other things. And then your goals, obviously, everyone should always work towards some goal, whether it's career-wise, whether it's, I want to paint a giant mural on my wall. I don't know, like some kind of goal that you set for yourself. So I've split it up into that. My mind portion is, I'm reading this book right now. I think it's called Fingerprints of the Gods by Graham Hancock. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He was on the Joe Rogan podcast, which I don't listen to a lot because a lot of it I just don't really care to hear, but he does have interesting people sometimes. And Graham Hancock is one of them. He is a historian and like archaeologist, and talks about ancient civilizations that aren't like, it's more of like, I don't want to call it a conspiracy because he has tons of evidence, but it's not like widely acknowledged by the historic community.
Gotcha.
So he has this huge book on like ancient civilizations. That's what I'm reading right now. If anybody likes that stuff, go check it out. It's on Amazon. So that's for my mind. Body, just like going to the gym, walking, just something to get like your body moving. Like, because especially working for yourself and working from home, I feel like it's so easy to sit at a desk or sit on your couch or sit at a table all day, every day.
Sitting a lot. There's a lot of sitting over.
There's a lot of sitting. Yep, there is.
This house. And
it's amazing just how a little bit of movement like releases that dopamine. It makes you feel so much better. And that's something that I did not like. I was like, that's fake. That's not true. It's true. It is true.
That has a desk, that like a treadmill desk.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of those.
Oh,
they look awesome.
I think I need that. I'm so influenced by TikTok. It's not even funny.
Oh yeah.
Like, I think I need that, but it looks fabulous.
My mom worked from home for like a year, and she got a bike and like a desk that raises, and she would just bike while she was on her computer. And I'm like, that's smart.
I need to, I should do something like that. Like my ass is literally sweating right now on this seat because I've been sitting here so long. Like,
I know, I went to the gym this morning and I was like, I have to do something. And I had like 30 minutes and I was like, just do something. And I feel like I talked to my dad today. I might go off on a little bit of a tangent. I talked to my dad before I went to the gym, and he was like, well, I don't have to be at work for another like couple hours, but I don't know what to do. And I was like, go to the gym, like just do something. And he was like, well, the gym's useless. I don't have the energy to get a good workout in right now. And I'm like, I don't care.
I don't care.
Go do something. Like, okay, not I don't care. That's rude. But, you know, even if you don't feel like you have the energy to get an entire workout in, just go do something. It'll probably give you energy. It
doesn't have to be P90X. Like,
exactly. It doesn't have to be this super intense hour and a half long workout. It can be 20 minutes on a treadmill. Literally, that's it. And go do 12 through 30. Shout out Lauren Geraldo.
Yeah, go like walk. That was literally me this morning. That's something that like I work out every morning, every weekday morning, I should say. And then we're pretty active on the weekends for like doing like random things. But this morning, I mean, I was just not feeling it. It's like
that happens.
Yeah, it is what it is, you know, body's just not into it. And so, but it's more important to me to do something for the habit, to train my mind, to just train myself to know, like, we do something. There are days when I go super hard and it's super great. And there are days like today where I did not change into workout clothes. I went in like our little workout area in my pajamas, which was essentially a t-shirt. And I was on the mat and I did a couple crunches and I did some bicycle crunches and what else? And like some hip raises. And I said, hot girl,
good enough.
Like, I just needed to do something. Like,
it really is about creating that habit.
Yeah.
It's just like the mental battle of just getting yourself there is the majority of, I feel like, the hardest part.
Yeah.
Like, just
okay.
mentally.
So we've got mind, we've got body. Now we're at soul.
We haven't gotten very far, have we?
We haven't, but this is good because we want the details. We're going to wring it out as much as we can.
So soul is just like meditation or journaling, or, you know, if somebody likes to paint and that's meditative for them, or they like to cook or whatever makes your soul happy, do that every single day. Do whatever makes your soul happy. For me, I have a lot of anxiety, and, you know, everybody does.
Yeah, seems so.
But just taking, like, I set it up in 2-hour blocks. I almost never take the whole 2 hours, but at least it's like there. I feel like 2 hours is like a manageable amount of time to get whatever you need to get done. So I'll meditate, I'll journal. I saw a tweet from somebody saying that he recommends his clients to, what did he call it? I don't remember what he called it. Basically just like emptying your brain into your journal. Cause I'm somebody who always has thoughts just bouncing around in my head, and it gets really overwhelming because you can't focus on one of them because there's a million. So just write whatever comes to your mind, just get it out on the paper, journal. If you want to do like a gratitude or some kind of manifestation journal, you could do that. But yeah, make your soul happy. Like, just make your whole self feel good. And that's what meditating and journaling does for me. It just like clears my mind so that I can, and it's the first thing I do in the morning. When I wake up, I make my bed, put my clean clothes away from the night before, and then I meditate and I journal first thing in the morning, just to get like a clean slate almost.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
And then,
so now,
you know, income, self-explanatory.
You gotta
maybe take more than 2 hours to do things that pertain to your income. I don't know, but income, self-explanatory. You need resources. And then goals. So a lot of my goals right now kind of focus around YouTube, just to grow YouTube. So it's it's still a lot of my day is YouTube focused, but you know, that might change one day. Maybe one day my goal will be, I want to start a podcast. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like whatever your next goal is, just do something towards it every day. And I like, even on the hard days, you can do something in all 5 of these categories that doesn't take a ton of effort, that doesn't take a ton of time, but just doing something every single day in these 5. And it has kept me so happy. Like I feel so well-rounded. I don't wake up in the mornings feeling like I'm behind. I wake up and I'm like, I get to do it again because I got everything that I wanted to do done yesterday. I did it all. It's been great.
That's a good feeling.
So helpful.
Yeah. And for guys, if you're listening and, like she's got like 2-hour time blocks, and especially for like the income thing, that might not be possible for you. And of course we all have different schedules, just anything that you could do. So, like when you're talking and you're like, mind, body, soul, to me, I hear that and I hear morning routine. I'm like, okay, that's exactly what my morning routine is. I love to read. So that's probably more of a soul thing, maybe a mind thing. Cause now I read fiction. I kind of take a break from nonfiction, like development books. So every morning I read, every morning I work out, and then I get ready, take a shower. And then I could probably do something else for like mind or soul, or whatever, but that could be like your morning routine. Obviously your income is your job. So you go to work, you do your thing. And then maybe you have, a little bit of time either in the morning or in the evening. I used to do it during my lunch break at TJ Maxx when I was trying to work at being a marketing person. Like I would do all my research and applications and all that kind of stuff during my lunch break. So just find the time to hit all of these points in whatever way feels good for you. But I love that I don't know, like mantra setup,
mantra
thing, kind of life system. Like I
feel like it's important for people because I feel like social media is just the thing right now, and everybody compares themselves to everybody you see online. And it was a big thing for me to realize. It's like, however you have to take care of yourself does not have to look like the people on TikTok. It doesn't have to look anything like that. It's literally whatever works for you. And I feel like taking a step back from social media lately has made me realize that, like, it doesn't have to look cute, it doesn't have to look aesthetic, like it just has to work.
It literally just has to work for you.
It just has, keep you happy, keep you well-rounded. I don't know.
Just keep it going. So what advice do you have for anybody who is struggling with choosing their own path?
I would say find what you actually want and find what makes you genuinely happy. If you are think about what you actually want your life to look like if you're trying to pick a path, and don't pick something because your parents tell you that you should, or this job pays really well, so that's why you want it, or something like that. Pick something that is going to make you happy for the rest of your life. And if you're on this path and you've picked this thing and for some reason it doesn't make you happy anymore, you can be scared, but be open to the idea of like pivoting. Like, you don't have to make this decision and keep it for the rest of your life. I feel like people get like, oh, well, I chose this, so this is what I have to do. Like, I feel like I see it a lot with college degrees. Like, you got this degree, so you feel like you have to stick with it. But just think about what you truly want in life, what makes you genuinely happy, and try to figure out a way to make that your career or something similar.
And like, I like being open to the pivot because
I feel like it's because like you're on this planet for it's short, but you have 80 years. You don't have to do the same thing for 80 years.
Nobody does. Oh my god,
switch it up.
Nobody's path is linear.
No, and I feel like a lot of people don't realize that, as I feel like they're like, okay, well, I chose this and this is what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to work my way up the ladder. But if 10 years on the road, you're like, I'm not happy anymore, pivot, figure out something else, figure out what makes you happy. I feel like you have to be happy in whatever you spend most of your time doing every day, or else you're not going to be happy in life.
That's true. I love it. Oh, this was so good. It's just so powerful. If people are listening, and of course I want to hear more of you, where can they find you?
So you can find me on YouTube. It's just Miranda Maheri, Maheri. Or when I get back from my social media hiatus, you can find me on Instagram at Miranda_Maheri.
Love it. Thank you so much for being on. This interview has been
Thank you so much.
So good.
So much fun.
Oh, I'm so glad. Guys, if you enjoyed it, make sure to give Miranda some love and go on all of her channels and just spread the love everywhere. If you enjoyed this podcast, please rate, whatever, review, like, subscribe,
comment. I don't even know what it is.
It's like, it's rate, like, review. I don't know what all that, you guys
Subscribe.
know. You know what you're supposed to do. Just be a pal and
Show some love.
Go and be forth. Show love on all the channels. If you don't follow us on Instagram, make sure to follow us at Attainable Podcast, where we will be posting all the time about what episodes are going on, when we have polls, all that kind of thing. If you have any episode requests, make sure to DM us, or if you have any complaints, concerns, if you got questions, need advice, whatever, our DMs are open. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.